Okay, welcome to Sunday Showcase 3 results. Here are the possible candidates we're going to go through. It's possible that we're going to see some candidates come in. It's going to be interesting selection. Some half-hour stuff, some longer stuff. Of course, we are doing a board account system, which means that this is a ranked choice voting, but each of the points are given based on the rank. The next show will be the one with the least amounts of points. However, the bottom 8 choices will be excluded from Showcase 4 considerations, which basically means that it's just as important what you put as your top 5 choices as it was your bottom 5 choices. Really helpful going forward. Alright, and our first sets of results are coming in, and wow, okay, so Psych and Archer in the top 2. Archer is not a big surprise, but Psych at the top is honestly a bit surprising. Running out the top 10, we got Park and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Gravity Falls, and Community. But you can see from the votes total, this is still a very close race. As we move on to the bottom 10, Peep Show and Peaky Blinders are just out of the danger zone, but it's close. You're the Worst and the X-Files trying to get out as best they can. Gilmore Girls in One Piece, right now they're dragging at the bottom. So 40%, that's about 4 votes. So we're looking at some of these places to be on average, average is 48. So below that is ideal, but keeping the average down is going to be tricky as more votes come in. All right, with 70% of the vote in, there's been a bit of a change of pace. It seems Park and Rec and The Good Place have taken the top 2 spots, pushing out Psych and Archer. They move a bit further down. And this is where it gets interesting. As more votes in, the average obviously starts to change. So now we're about 7 votes in, so Parks and Rec is doing a bit below 7. In comparison, Schitt's Creek all the way at the top, doing a bit above 10. So that's what we're looking for. Parks and Rec needs to get stuff under 7 in order to maintain its lead. Schitt's Creek needs to get stuff below 10 in order to move up, and every other one in between is moving in some combination up or down. As we move now to the bottom 10%, we see some movement here at the top. New Girl and Gotham coming in, while the rest of the top down bottom 8 seems to have settled a little bit more. Gilmore Girls and Drunk History and One Piece kind of settling at the bottom. One Piece right now is averaging about 18, while New Girl at the top is averaging around 12. Which basically means, obviously, you need lower numbers of that in order to improve. But as we get closer to the end of it, I don't think they're going to be able to find the votes. So now it's less about trying to get in the top 10 win, but just get out of the bottom 8 in order to be considered sometime in the future. As we wait for the final votes to come in, we're going to see how that change of activity here. So a lot of movement here in the top 10, a lot of positive movement though nothing too dramatic. Of course, The Good Place managed to get out of what looks like 7th place into 2nd place, and it did that by, increasing the average a bit. In the start, it was averaging a bit over 9, bit under 9, and now it is doing better than that. And by better, I mean 7.5. 1.5 difference, and that's the thing. The top and bottom of the table are only separated by about 3 points on average, which should be easy to make up, more or less. However, a 20 or a 15 can really sink any top choices up here, so they got to be careful and do the best they can. As we move on to the bottom 10, we see a lot of movement downwards. So as you see, it seems like the fields are kind of separating from each other. Peep Show, which was doing on average before, is now doing well below average now. Remember, at this point in time, you want to be averaging around 84. All of them are doing above that, doing a lot worse. It seems, at this point in time, it seems pretty clear that One Piece, Drunk History, and Gilmore Girls will probably not make it out of the bottom 8, seeing as their closest competitor, Jane the Virgin, is a solid 10 points, or about a point on average ahead of them. Though, this last round of voting, anything could happen. All right, 100% of votes are in, and we now see what the bottom 10 look like. So what you want to focus on here is the line between X-Files and You're the Worst, because that is where it is the deciding line. You're the Worst Peep Show, all those guys are suddenly no longer in consideration going forward. And even though I was pretty sure One Piece, Drunk History, and Gilmore Girls were going to make it out, I seem to see that they have made some improvement, and Jane the Virgin, who I thought had an insurmountable lead, did not. Stand by, though, as we wait for the final results to come in. Okay, we believe we have a projected winner, and it is coming in soon. And it is Parks and Rec. And it seems to have pulled it off and managed to maintain its average going through the end. With 100% of the votes in the top 10, we can now see that Parks and Rec actually seem to have taken a pretty sizable lead. The Good Place, though, hanging strong in second place, and Bob's Burger surprising third place finish for it. Community held on through fourth throughout most of the evening, and it seems to be a solid fourth place in the hearts of many of the voters. Psych dropped down to fifth to end its run after starting out in first. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I believe, in fourth last time, now in sixth. Gravity Falls dropping down a bit. Schitt's Creek moving up all night, but not fast enough. Archer and MASH finishing up at 9 and 10. Here are the full results, and you can now see how Parks and Rec managed to pull this off. At a 63, that's about a 6.3 points average throughout the night. An impressive showing for an underdog show. Community managed just 8.3. Bob's Burgers and The Good Place basically tied at 7.6 and 7.9 on average. Of course, these middle shows, Buffy, Ursula, and Jake and Josh, are an interesting bunch, and it is fun to see that. Well, that's going to do it for us here. Thank you for everyone who voted, and we look forward to starting Parks and Rec next Sunday, November 29th.